I'm a fan.
And welcome to Tracking the Wolves. I'm Blake Day with NSU Athletics. Let's get some past results to kick things off. The NSU wrestling team had a bit of a tough weekend this past weekend here in Walks Arena, losing 2 duels to the 3rd and 6th ranked teams in the country. On Friday night, the Wolves lost to 3rd ranked St. Cloud State 41-3, with Joe Gomez picking up the lone victory for the Wolves at 197 pounds. NSU then went on to lose to the 6th ranked Upper Iowa on Saturday. Now, NSU now sits at 3-7 overall and 0-3 in NSIC dual matches. The Northern State men's track and field team had a steady Saturday at the Black Hill State Invitational in Spearfish, as the Wolves had 9 top 10 finishes in their second meet of the season. Nick Lindworm had the highest finish for the Wolves on Saturday as he placed 2nd in the 600 meters, finishing with a time of 1:24.53. Gina Burley for the women's track team, in the high jump event, had her 2nd high jump victory in a row. She recorded a jump of 5.5 to win the event. Northern also got a pair of top 10 finishes in the women's 400 meter dash as Hannah Trinan placed 2nd with a time of 1:04, and Molly Wynn placed 9th with the career best time of 1:03.36. Lucas Osowski, he recorded a career high throw of 47.4.5 in the shot put, finishing 5th. And Tyler Roble also had a new PR in the event with a toss of 46.425 and placed 10th. The NSU women's basketball team 9-game win streak was snapped on Friday night on the road at St. Cloud State, losing 64-61. Senior Allison Kusler led the Wolves attack with 24 points in the game as she shot 50% from the floor and counted for 5 of the team's 7 3-pointers. Rachel Krogman and Megan Mutual each added double-digit points on the night for the Wolves, with 13 and 11 respectively. The NSU women bounced back and defeated Minnesota Duluth 70-59 on Saturday night, however. Kusler again led the Wolves with 24 points and 6 rebounds. Rachel Krogman chipped in with 19 points and 5 boards herself, while Sadie Stosberry added 13 points in the game. The NSU women are now 15-3 overall and 13-3 in conference play. The men's basketball team lost their 2nd straight game Friday night, losing to St. Cloud State 79-71. Jared Hannigan led the Wolves with 15 points and 5 rebounds. Tyden Stortson was 1 assist shy of his first career double-double, as he had 10 points and 9 assists, and Seth Bashand also chipped in with 10 points and 5 boards for the Wolves. Now the Wolves bounced back on Saturday night just like the women did, and they had a nail-biter over the University of Minnesota Duluth 80-78. Seth Bashand and Carter Evans led the Wolves with 13 points each in the victory, and it really was an all-around win for the Wolves, as Michael Schreiber had 7 points, Jared Hannigan chips in with 12, and Trent Zomer also had 11 points in the effort. The men's team now sits at 14-6 overall and 9-5 in the NSIC. And that's it for past results. We'll be right back with NSU men's basketball coach Paul Sather.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
Welcome to this portion of Tracking the Wolves. I'm Associate Athletic Director Zach Flackus. Joining me today is NSU head basketball coach Paul Sather. Coach, how are we doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well today.
You know, the temperature's almost above zero, so it's, this is, like home for you back in Minnesota.
Yeah, starting to feel a lot better. This 30 below, no fun. So it's nice to be back above that.
I know you grew up playing hockey, not really basketball as a little kid, but then I suppose the 6'8" thing kind of messed up your hockey career. But
yeah, the height came into play, and I always tell people it's nice to play indoor sports at that point in time because we skate a lot on outdoor rinks, and anymore everybody's in an arena.
Yeah.
So they're spoiled now.
Midwest hockey might not be as tough as they were when we were kids. So.
Exactly.
Like I said, we're talking to NSU head basketball coach Paul Sather today. Coach, went on a tough road trip this weekend. Anytime you go to St. Cloud and Duluth on a weekend, it's a tough road trip. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the weekend?
Well, both teams, very good teams. St. Cloud is a team that we've been battling, in the conference standings on that north side, and very good team, skilled, can shoot it well, but they've got guys that can play inside and outside, and I just felt like we didn't guard them as well at that 4 spot. They took advantage of that, and they made some threes. They got loose a little bit, and we dug ourselves a hole. I thought we fought real hard to get back into it, but 16-point deficit, a little hard to overcome. We got back in striking distance and just kind of ran out of gas.
And right before half is when you put that good run together. It seems like your team is kind of a little bit of a streaky team where you can get on some positive rolls, occasionally have some of those negative rolls, but is that just the sense that you got some either new guys or young guys that are playing? Is that what causes those?
I don't know. A lot of it, I think, stems around rebounding. We've had opportunities where we've gotten stops. We just haven't closed the possession with a rebound. And when we're not rebounding well, or a team is taking advantage of, whatever mismatch we might have rebounding, it hasn't always gone our way. But like I said, I think when we rebound well, it seems like we're able to get stops. We're a very good transition team, and we can get runs quickly because we score well. We score well in transition when we get stops. But yeah, we'll have runs. It happened at Bemidji, and it happened again at St. Cloud, where we have a 4 or 5 possession time where we just kind of sleep, and create a little bit of a hole for us to overcome.
And so you end up losing that game on Friday at St. Cloud. Saturday you come back, you're playing Minnesota Duluth, another very good basketball team, but this one it seemed like it was different. It seems like the runs were much more positive in your aspect, and then when they started to go on a run, you were able to stop them. Yeah,
they've got 3 really good scorers, and I thought we did a pretty decent job most of the night. They got to the rim on us a lot early in the second half as well. We didn't guard the ball as well, but again, I think offensively we've shown that we're a team that can move the ball. We're a team that can get easy shots when we are moving the ball well, when we are looking to run, and when we get stops. And it was a kind of a back and forth game. And that second half, we really started making some runs and put some stops together and made some plays. Sky hits a deep 3, Jared hits a 3 right in front of our bench. A guy like Carter Evans and Michael Schreiber both came off the bench and gave us some good baskets. And our bench was great because, a guy like Darren Paterka came in and made some big plays for us. So a lot of different guys stepping up on the road and at Duluth, and it really helped us, find a way to get a win.
Well, and that's a game here. Again, it comes down to, that's a one-possession game back and forth the whole second half. And, it was a great game to watch. We were watching on the internet. We weren't up there, but it comes down to the last minute of the game, and it's kind of back and forth, and it seems like your guys just made some plays. Like you said, that deep 3 from Sky was beyond deep. It was way back.
And that shot that Hanny made right in front of our bench was a contested 3, and it kind of got us going a little bit. Again, it is. It's just basketball's a game of runs. It's a game of momentum. And I felt like we started gaining some momentum late in the game. We still dug some holes, but following a very good free throw shooter late. You find a way to win the game, and anytime you're on the road in this league, and you can come out with a win. It's a good win.
Well, and you just, like you said, on the road in this league, boy, in January, we were on the road a lot.
Yeah.
Comes to the end of the season, and our schedule, even though we've got some really tough games, we're playing 6 out of the last 8 at home. This weekend we've got Winona and Upper Iowa. We finish out the month of February. We got one road trip in there, but it's really sandwiched around. What does that mean to your team to be at home at the end of the year when these games are really crucial, especially with so many different moving parts? Now, granted, you've got some freshmen playing, but bringing a guy like Tyden Sorensen maybe hasn't played in a couple years. Seth Bashan was hurt the last half of last year. So those guys, it's got to feel good to get home at the end of the year when we're really playing for something. We're getting that seeding for conference tournaments, and got a lot of games left, but every game seems to be important. But at least you're getting them at home.
Yeah, well, just for the sake we're not traveling. Those 2 weeks in a row of traveling, especially with some of the weather conditions we've had in the last couple weeks, has been the brutal part of it. We don't mind getting on the road. It takes away some of the distractions. You have a little more control. But it's nice to get home. It's nice to get in front of our fans. People love coming here and playing. So you don't ever feel like you can just relax and say, hey, we're at home. We don't talk much about home and road. And we always feel like, hey, everybody gets excited about coming here and playing in front of 5,000 people. And so you're going to get their best shot.
You definitely do.
2 exciting teams. Winona's, obviously a team that's playing for a Northern Sun Championship. A team like Upper Iowa is a real exciting team to watch because they're up and down the court. They shoot a lot of threes. They're a very difficult team to match up with. And they've shown. I mean, they went into Southwest State and beat a very good Southwest State team by about 20. So 2 dangerous teams, 2 very good teams, and this along with our weekend following with St. Cloud and Duluth, 4 very good teams coming into our place these next couple weekends.
As you get to this point in the season, are matchups still something that you really still have to go through, or is it just pretty much get out there, throw the basketball up, and let's play the game?
No, I mean, matchups are important, and after you play a team once, this is going to be the first time to play Winona and Upper Iowa. But in 2 more weeks, we're going to be playing St. Cloud and Duluth for a second time in less than, in basically 3 weeks. So it's matchups are important, and preparation and getting our guys ready to play like this weekend. A very physical, long, athletic Winona team, and then you turn around and you play against a Upper Iowa team that won't go really big. They're all about 6'4" to 6'7". They all can make threes. So, you go from one team Friday that's real physical, can hurt you inside, can hurt you outside, to an Upper Iowa team that's a little bit more guard-oriented, that's going to put up a ton of shots. So different matchups, different teams, and we've got to be ready to play 2 games in 24 hours.
Well, we're expecting some huge crowds this weekend. Winona always brings out the fans. You get the best out of Winona, you also get the best out of the Northern fans. I know every time we have a home doubleheader weekend, we have a sideliner lunch down at Loggers on that Friday, so you're going to get 3 meals out of us here the next 3-4 weeks, Lowell and the guys down there. But I think our fans are just really into the basketball season right now. The women have a great season going. You guys have a very good season going. It's just exciting to see the basketball that's being played, especially the caliber. When Winona comes in here, they're bringing in some real athletic type of basketball players, and the level of competition in our conference just keeps getting better and better each year. Does that trend ever end? Or?
Well, yeah, I don't think so. In our league, I just think you saw a season last year where I think the first team, all-conference team, all 10 players were seniors. So you're seeing a lot of changeover, I think. There's some teams that are going through some young progression, and Winona's one of them. I mean, they lost some pretty important people last year, as did we. Everybody lost some guys, and so I think you see a really young Northern Sun league right now that's really showcasing some very good young players. But I don't feel like the level of competition has gone down much. I think the level of competition is still real high, and I think it shows what these next few years in our league, what it's going to be.
Well, and as part of that, I mean, these freshmen have to be able to come in and play. Carter Evans is a true freshman. There's true freshmen playing all over our league, where I don't know if we saw as much of that years ago, but do they just come in more ready? Or?
I think you see guys more physically ready. A guy like Carter, who had some tough injuries to deal with. He's 6'10", about 240, athletic. So much of it's just learning how to compete every possession as hard as you have to. Guys like Michael Schreiber and Darren Paterka are redshirt freshmen, and you see the impact that they've made. Michael had 7 points in 6 minutes against Duluth. So I mean, it's freshmen are making an impact. Riley Bamanek from Winona State is one of the leading scorers in the league, and he's a redshirt freshman. So you're seeing really young players making big impacts, and I think you'll see those kind of players continue these next few years and really become those players that become All-Americans or first-team All-League type of players.
Well, it's sure fun to watch. Like we said, we've got Winona this Friday. Games are going to be at 6 and 8. We've got Upper Iowa on Saturday. Those games will be at 5 and 7 right here in the Barnett Center. Coach, with that, I'm going to let you get back to work and recruiting.
Sounds good.
This has been Tracking the Wolves with Assistant Athletic Director Zach Flackus and NSU head basketball coach Paul Sather, former player too. Thank you. We'll be right back.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
With commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why. These student athletes say with pride,
I chose
Division II.
And welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. Today we have a special guest with us from the Wolves men's basketball team. We have Michael Schreiber joining us. Michael, thank you for being on here today.
Yep, thanks for having me.
I guess we'll start out with, kind of giving us your hometown, your major, any career aspirations, I guess if you know them at this point, that you want to use your degree for.
Sure. I'm from Rogers, Minnesota. It's about half an hour north of the cities. Used to be a pretty small town. It's really grown over the years, and that's where I think I get the small town feel, and that's why I chose Northern. But my major is Management Information Systems right now. I'm deciding if I want to do a double major in international business. And as far as career goals, aspirations, I'd say I'd like to follow my dad and go into Target possibly, or some of those larger merchandise chains.
Oh, okay, very nice. I guess what we usually ask everybody is why Northern? Why did you choose to come here? Because obviously you were you're a 1,000-point scorer in high school, which is certainly not a small feat. And as they always say in basketball, big guys don't grow on trees. I mean, obviously you offer great size, a very accomplished high school player. So I mean, the offers. Probably had a few different offers out there. What really drew you to Northern to bring you here?
Really, I think it was just that small town feel. I wasn't looking for a large college, and coming from a smaller high school, Northern just felt comfortable. And another thing was basketball wasn't the main sport at Rogers, it was always football. So when I saw the community involvement in the basketball program and just the support that they give the program week in and week out, I knew this is where I wanted to come.
Right. No, very nice. And we always talk about the attendance numbers here, and it truly is. It's an incredible atmosphere here in the Barnett Center, and it's a lot of fun. So let's talk about you're a redshirt freshman. Talk about that redshirting process a little bit last year. Obviously you come from being a very accomplished player in high school to having to sit out here, watch the game from a different angle. Just talk about that redshirting process and what you learned throughout last year.
Sure. Redshirting was probably the best thing I could have done. At the time, it was pretty hard to get into it. I mean, like you said, coming off a senior season, very successful senior season, and then just sitting there on the bench for game in and game out. It was tough, but like I said, it was the best thing I could have done. I was going up against Tetzloff every day, Seth Bashan, and just getting that experience, I would definitely do it again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, no, that's great. And what we always ask, we kind of put you guys on the hot spot here a little bit here, kind of a random fact about yourself, a fun fact that our viewers really want to get to know the athletes a little bit, that maybe your teammates, family might know about you here, but even most of our viewers don't know about you.
I actually used to live in Oregon for 2 years before middle school. I know some of my teammates know that, but I'm sure other people don't know that as well.
I did not know that, so that's a very good one. Let's talk about the season a little bit here.
Sure.
You guys are 14-6 at this point, 9-5 in the conference. So, you've had kind of some ups and downs this year, a lot more ups than downs. I mean, a solid record up to this point. Let's kind of talk about the season. Starting out, you guys go down and play Creighton in an exhibition, obviously a very solid Division I team. Then you go down to the Sanford Classic, play two, Division II schools that we normally don't see. And then some non-conference opponents, some smaller schools like Jamestown, Dickinson State, Dakota State, Mayville State. Kind of talk about that early season, of getting familiar with each other, and you really your first, I don't want to say first live action, but coming off the red shirt, everything of, just talk about the early season, kind of growing, together as a team throughout that.
Sure. First things first, I was very excited to get back on the court, and I think the team sensed that. Going into that Creighton game, man, we were absolutely just pumped because that atmosphere that Creighton brings, you just kind of feed off that, and it was a lifetime experience for sure. And I think in that early season, as a team, we were just trying to find ourselves, what our identity is, what kind of work ethic we're going to bring every night. And after playing those few games, especially at Creighton, at Sioux Falls, at least I could definitely feel that we have something special here as a team. More often than the past, this team feels like family. I mean, we're close. We spend all our time together, and I think that just really helped us get through those early stages in the season. Because it's an up and down process early in the season, trying to find where the team's at. And I thought we just stayed close and hung through there.
No, and I think, you talk about the team identity part, because you guys did. You lost some very solid seniors from last year, in Colin Pryor and Dustin Tetzloff and Jeffrey Furman. So, we've got, a lot of, different faces, so to speak, here, and some young guys such as yourself, Darren Paterka. Just a lot of new faces, and it is. You can kind of see that as the years gone on. You guys are a tight-knit group. It's you can kind of see that as you guys play, which is, fun to watch. Let's talk about conference play, because obviously, Northern Suns, it's a brutal conference. 16 teams here, and you guys, you did have a 5-game win streak in there. We talked about now, you're 9-5 in conference. Just kind of talk about, what it's like to battle in, night in, night out in this conference, and go on the road, and what it's like to come back home, and just what you see out there in the Northern Sun.
Sure. Well, every night in the NSIC is a huge night. As you all know, the NSIC is a very physical, demanding conference. And as a team, we got to be able to bring that fight every night. And when we go out there, we need to be mentally ready. And when you see teams like Bemidji, Mankato, Winona, those big teams, it's going to be a dogfight. Coming off a road trip here at St. Cloud and Duluth, away games are huge in this conference. Picking up a win on the road is big, because every team at home is strong, and they bring a very good atmosphere. But for the most part, I think we handled it pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting a split, knocking off Duluth on Saturday night. That's, like you say, anytime you get a road win on this conference, it's big. Before we close here, we got, the next 2 weekends we're here at home. Obviously, this weekend we've got Winona on Friday night, and we've got Upper Iowa Saturday night. And then you're home again on the 7th and 8th of February. You're home 3 of the last 4 weekends here. So I guess let's talk about, what it's like for you to play in Walks Arena. And obviously, the home court advantage, the crowd, the atmosphere. And then let's just talk about what do you see, what are we expecting from Winona and Upper Iowa this weekend?
Sure. Well, playing at home is huge. The community involvement is huge. And when we're playing teams like Winona, it's a big advantage for us. Playing Walks Arena, from my perspective, is a dream come true. Whole redshirt season, just sitting there watching Colin Pryor, Tetzloff, going out there at home, crowd support, it's unbelievable. And for me to finally get the chance to go out there and prove myself, it's a real feeling of success. and every day we're trying to get better and better in the hopes of bringing down the top teams like Winona, which are coming in this weekend. And it's going to be a tough weekend. Winona, we all know, is good, and Upper Iowa, they're a very good team as well. So we just got to be mentally ready. And I think the guys know that. And coming into this game and the next couple weekends at home, we know this is big because this is the end of the season, and this is when teams should be getting better and pushing ourselves that extra %. And I think we're ready to step up to that.
Very nice. Well, yeah, thank you very much for being here today with us. And as we've talked about, the Wolves are back in action here this weekend in Walks Arena, men's and women's doubleheader. 6 and 8 on Friday night against Winona, and 5 and 7 on Saturday against Upper Iowa. So, thank you to Michael for being here. Thank you to Coach Sather as well for being with us today, and we'll be right back with upcoming events.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
And welcome back. This week's QDOBA Athletes of the Week were Gina Burley of the women's track and field team and Hunter Koff of the men's track and field team, as they've been named the QDOBA Scholar Athletes of the Week for their academic and athletic efforts. Gina Burley won the women's high jump for the Wolves for the second consecutive week. She recorded a jump of 5 feet 5 inches to win the event. Hunter Koff placed 6th in the 1,000 meter dash with a time of 2:46.77. Now, Koff also took 11th in the mile run, finishing with a time of 4:43.86. Let's get some upcoming events for the Wolves. The NSU wrestling team returns to action Thursday, January 30th, as they travel to Sioux Falls for a duel with Augustana College at 7 p.m. The NSU indoor track and field team will travel to NSIC venue this weekend as well, as they go to the Minnesota State Maverick Open Friday and Saturday. The NSU swim team will spend the next 2 weeks prepping for the NSIC conference meet, which begins February 6th in Rochester, Minnesota. The NSIC championships will run Thursday through Sunday with prelims and final events each day. Both the NSU men's and women's basketball teams are back in action this weekend here at home, as they take on Winona State on Friday night with games at 6 and 8, and Upper Iowa on Saturday with games at 5 and 7. That is it for upcoming events. We thank men's head basketball coach Paul Sather for joining us today. We thank Michael Schreiber from the NSU men's basketball team as well for joining us. And go Wolves!